It's Michael with M Mills Woodworking here. Thank you for stopping by, watching this video. It's one of my first, so I really appreciate it. This video is going to be about metal BBs reacting with different types of wood glue and epoxy. I recently had one of my mallets fail. I was building it for my buddy who does some leather working. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably hopefully saw that. Maybe not, maybe it's a good reason to go look. It's M Mills Woodworking. So I had zinc BBs fail with some Type Bond 3, which got me thinking, what made this fail, what happened. That was kind of my engineering mindset taking over, root cause analysis. I talked to Type Bond, got some ideas, but I really wanted to pin it down, see if there was a better solution, if there was a way around it, what could I do for the future. So follow along, tell me what you think. Hopefully this helps, and hopefully you don't lose a project like I did. Thanks. Okay, this is take 2 of the BB reaction test. I got some Type Bond original from Type Bond after contacting them. These are the 2 from the original one, the BBs from the original one. I also added epoxy just to see if that changes anything. For the BBs, I'm going to use these sealed containers, see if it gases. For the lead shot, which is right here, I'm just going to do an open container. This is just to mix the epoxy. I'm going to do a scale just so I have an even amount of each, just so I don't have one react more than the other. First thing I'm going to do is just add lead shot and BBs. For the epoxy, I don't have a whole lot of time to get them before full cure, so I don't want to screw it up. It's 9 grams. Zero it out. Wife gets pissed. Alright, Type Bond 1. Also, what I'm going to do is mark the fill line.
Just so I can see if it expands.
Ooh, this is getting toasty. I'm not gonna leave. I'm not gonna leave this one tight just so it doesn't get too hot.
The epoxy's, 5-minute epoxy, so already set.
Okay, let this sit overnight. Check on it in the morning. The 24-hour update. Looks like the lead is doing really well. As you can see, looks like no corrosion. This is a Gorilla Glue. Here's the Type Bond 3. Same thing with no corrosion. Type Bond Original. Basically no corrosion. Very yellow. Here is the epoxy. As you would expect, no corrosion. This is the only one fully cured. As you would expect, it's 5-minute epoxy. Cures pretty dang quick. Here's the interesting one. The zinc plated BBs. These ones are just pure lead shot. No coatings, no anything. As you can see, they actually all look like they're gonna turn out really nice. It might be the key, just use lead, who knows. So here's the original, this is Gorilla Glue. It's kind of reacted, still actually really not cured. I think that's to do with the fact that it's sealed. It's kind of under pressure, so I'm just going to open it up now. Not a whole lot. This will help it cure though, because as you can see, it's still liquid, which is why I think the reaction's taken a little while. Let's put that over to the side. Here's Type Bond 3. This one's a little more pressurized. It's pretty tight. As you can see, it is kind of a sludge. And it's pretty heavily corroded, even though it's barely cured. You hear that air? So yeah, it was pressurized, outgassing. Probably the reaction. Lots of bubbles, as you see. Once again, I'm going to leave the cover off now that I basically saw that it creates gas. I just want it to cure now, see if it expands, whatnot. Here's Type Bond Original. Almost no reaction. This is what they said. They said the acetic acid, if I'm saying that right, is what they think is causing the reaction. I guess that and zinc is actually a pretty well-known chemical reaction. Basically, it's vinegar, from what I've read. So this is now the epoxy. This one is actually extremely hot. Epoxy is an exothermic reaction, a 2-part mixture, so that makes a ton of sense. I left this one open because I figured it would create gas, but once again, it didn't expand. So if you did this with some 5-minute epoxy, making a mallet, you wouldn't have as much downtime. So if you have lead or zinc BBs, that might be the best case solution. But it's still looking like, regardless, maybe the Type On original will do well. But I mean, the lead shot is by far killing it with all of them. They're good to go. Type On 3, would not recommend. If you look back a few of my posts, you'll see it's pretty bad. Here's the original reaction I did. Yeah, it's nasty in there. This was the original test I did. This is when I started emailing Type Bond. So this is what it's supposed to look like. It becomes like a light brown, tannish almost. Similar to what this guy's doing. Yeah, so they recommended that I try Type Bond Original. They said it had less acetic acid. This is the original Gorilla Glue. Still corroded. Didn't expand, which this one, it's hard to see the line because it's so dark. I'm actually not finding it. It's right here. You can kind of see the line. It actually expanded a little above that, which is what created all that mallet to break. The white oak mallet that I was making for my buddy. So that's what inspired this test. I added the lead shot. Scan Woodworks, I forget his name, his IG handle. He was the one that recommended I try lead shot, which I thought was a good idea. A lot of people use that to weight down mallets. So this was the 24-hour update. I'll update you again tomorrow night. It's been maybe 3 nights total, 3 days total, whatever, 72 hours. Here's probably my last update. Here's Gorilla Glue lead BBs. It's not fully cured, it's pretty thick. It takes a while to fully cure when it's this thick. Here's the Gorilla Glue with zinc. Interestingly enough, turned green this time. Did not do that last time. Again, it's not fully cured. Can't really tell if it rose at all, but you could see it created a lot of air bubbles. Similar to what we saw the first time. This was the first test I did. Not green, which is odd. But here's some Type Bond 3 lead. Once again, no rise. Pretty thick, so it's not dry all the way, but it's pretty firm. No reaction, lead. Type Bond 3 and zinc. This is why I started it. Heavily corroded, lots of air. Noticeable rise, which is why it blew my mallet in half. Pretty nasty stuff. This was the full test. This was been 20 days, maybe 14 days. Pretty gross. Type Bond Original lead. No corrosion once again. No rise. That rise you see is just whipping up the cup. So no rise at all. Type Bond Original and the zinc plated BBs. There's a little bit of air. Almost nothing. No rise. So it looks like they were correct. Type Bond Original did not have as much acid, did not react. It's good news. Here's that epoxy lead, as expected, no rise. Cured extremely fast. It's 5-minute epoxy, 16-hour full cure. Same thing. This one somehow got sideways, but no rise, no corrosion, as you would expect. So for me, I would not recommend Gorilla Glue. I would not recommend Type Bond 3 with zinc plated BBs. Type Bond Original is looking actually really good.
I'm wondering if what makes it waterproof is what makes it react. Maybe the acidic acid is part of the reason it's reacting. Well, I know that's what's making it react, sorry. I wonder if that's what makes it waterproof. I might ask. We'll see. 5-minute epoxy, any epoxy will essentially work, especially 5-minute. It's going to cure faster than it could even react. However, lead shot worked with every one of them. Regardless of glue, regardless of brand, regardless of waterproof, not waterproof, indoor, outdoor, it all worked. You could get it actually super cheap. It actually would probably work better because it's more dense. You could get a lot more BBs, a lot more weight. You get a lot of air gap here, which is why you need glue to fill the air gap. Like when you look at the bottom of this, there's not a lot of air gap. I mean, that glue is really thin. When you look at this, no, it's hard to tell. When you look at this, there's a lot of glue in there, a lot of air gap. So you can actually get a lot more dense with the lead anyways, which is beneficial. Smaller holes, you could possibly get more weight per volume. So I think for me, I'm just going to probably use some good old lead shot, you know. Cool. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks Type On for sending me the original. They actually recommended that. Everything else was what I already had. Thanks.
Thanks for watching the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm hopefully going to do a little bit more of these. Who knows? We'll see. I really enjoyed this experiment. I hope you did. Once again, hopefully you watched to learn something and maybe you could not have something break in the future. Thanks.